So here is my video response to Zach Vincent's videos, take two. So I didn't see the previous one showing up, so here we go again, and you can hear it all twice if it shows up, or if yeah, who knows. Anyway, so first of all, great job on your videos. I don't think you have anything to worry about. They're great videos and you have a lot to say. Nice background too. Very, it looked almost like a tranquil cabin behind you or something. Very good for talking about Leopold and the land ethic. So you did a great job diving in. I think you knew exactly where to go with this. So one of the first points that you made that I found very interesting was this idea of what is significant versus what is insignificant. One of my mentors, an ecology and environmental science teacher I had, used to always talk about the fact that people really wanted to save the cute animals, but they didn't want to save any of the gross things, and they didn't want to think about bacteria as being important. And it all is very important. It's important to think about how all of it works together, and that we have a very small concept of how it works together. So when we start messing with things, we really don't have a lot. We don't know what we're doing. So it is very important to have this holistic view that Leopold is talking about, even more than really he understood at the time. I also really like when Leopold is talking about land as community, and so I'm glad you brought that up. And also when he's using these terms like love and care, it's not something that we often associate with land, with wilderness, with our environment. These kinds of terms we often use for other people instead, for family, for community. And so when we see it as community, it really helps us to bridge our ethical stance further out. So great points on that. When talking about the McDonough and Braungart piece, definitely the shortcomings of the U.S. and unwillingness to change, those are really important things as far as like changing culture. And that even when you think about in Aguiman, when he's talking about the differences between the administrations, that in the George W. Bush's administration there was this feeling that we don't have to change, everyone else should change, and that if enough other people change, then maybe we don't have to. And that unwillingness to change is something that McDonough and Braungart are kind of taking on. I agree. The idea of recycling as aspirin is a very amusing one, and I think it really brings it home that our current efforts aren't enough. So I did want to ask, what is enough? I think McDonough and Braungart kind of get into that. What's the difference? What's the difference between our current not enough and what would be enough? So a little more detail about that would have been good. You definitely have a great take on Aguiman's view of sustainability, and a great critique of those corporations too that we're hearing about. And I have to say, don't get off your soapbox. I'm gonna, Monsanto is that could be the only focus of what we're doing, and it would still be more than enough material to think about sustainability and environmental justice and greenwashing. It's just incredible what they have done single-handedly to in a very long-term way, both biologically and legally, to demolish biodiversity and sustainability. And it's just mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling that they sue farmers that don't buy Monsanto products because there's been genetic drift into their crops and other things like that. I mean, it's insane to me. So I'm with you. I have my own soapbox, so don't be afraid of standing up on your soapbox. We need those. Great points on biodiversity in particular. That's something that gets left behind sometimes, that when we create all of these monocultures all over, that's not functional. When Weyerhaeuser plants a forest of trees that are all the same tree and all the same age, does that really count? Does that count as a forest, or is it simply like a lawn that's made out of trees? These are things we need to think about, and they don't provide the same opportunities for other creatures to take hold, and for there to be an actual ecological community. So Dow's greenwashing is world famous, and so you definitely are right on, not only in mentioning that, but I really appreciate first the links to sustainability and human health, which are really important to keep in mind. A lot of people think of health and human health, and they think of doctors and at most public health. They don't really think as much about how much of an impact environmental factors have on human health, which is huge in so many ways, even the way we structure our cities, not just in the way that we take in chemicals by eating food with pesticides. But one of the things that strikes me the most about your videos is your own personal experiences and stories and your own take on these things. So please don't lose that. That's fantastic, and that really that makes your videos special and entertaining and informative. Everyone has something to add to this, and you absolutely do too. So thank you for telling your stories and for being involved and engaging with the material. I really look forward to your next post, and for that meeting you promised you were going to come in and make at some point. Well, you didn't really promise, but anyway, stop by anytime.